Are bond requirements mandatory for goods in FTZs? Curious about bond requirements for goods in foreign trade zones, FTZs? Welcome to our channel. I'm here to talk to you about bond requirements for goods in free trade zones. A free trade zone, FTZ, is a designated area where goods can be imported, stored, and processed without being subject to customs duties or taxes. This can be a great way to save money on imports, but it's important to be aware of the bond requirements that may apply. What is a bond? A bond is a guarantee that a certain amount of money will be paid if certain conditions are not met. In the case of FTZs, a bond is often required to ensure that goods will be exported from the FTZ within a certain time period. If the goods are not exported within the specified time frame, the bond will be forfeited. Are bond requirements mandatory for all goods in FTZs? No, not all goods in FTZs require a bond. The specific bond requirements will vary depending on the FTZ and the type of goods involved. However, some of the most common goods that require a bond include raw materials that will be used to produce finished goods in the FTZ, intermediate goods that are being processed in the FTZ, finished goods that are being stored in the FTZ before being exported. How much does a bond cost? The cost of a bond will vary depending on the amount of the bond and the length of time for which it is required. However, you can expect to pay a few $1,000s for a bond that covers a year's worth of imports. How do I get a bond? You can get a bond from a surety company. A surety company is a financial institution that specializes in providing bonds. The surety company will evaluate your company's financial situation and determine the amount of the bond that is required. They will then charge you a fee for providing the bond. What happens if I don't get a bond? If you don't get a bond, you may not be allowed to import goods into the FTZ. In some cases, you may be allowed to import goods without a bond, but you will be required to pay a deposit. If you don't export the goods within the specified time frame, the deposit will be forfeited. Bond requirements for goods in FTZs can vary, so it's important to do your research before you import goods into an FTZ. By understanding the bond requirements, you can avoid any potential problems and save money on your imports. Thank you for watching.